Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the key to airbrushing explained. A lot of people are going to say, is it the kit? Do you need the most expensive kit? The best airbrush? You don't. I've proven that on the channel that you don't when it comes to brushes. A lot of people think, oh, it's definitely the brush. What is the best brush and all that? As I say, I've proven that on the channel. When it comes to brushes, you don't need the most expensive kit. You don't need the most dearest airbrush to be able to think that you're going to achieve and become this amazing painter. You can do it with a £22 airbrush. I've done it on the channel. And that's how I look at when it comes to kit now. I've got some of the expensive kit and I've got some of the real cheap kit, and I've painted with them both, and I can achieve the exact same amount of detail from a £400 brush to a £20 brush. People are going to go, oh no you can't, the dearer brush is better. It's not, guys. We just buy into it, you know. We just all buy into this because it's dearer, it's got to be better, and I need it because it's going to make me better. It doesn't. So kit wise, it's definitely not the kit, because you can achieve amazing results with the cheapest brush, a cheap compressor, you know. The more quality and dearer, as in components in like compressor and things like that, you'll get your longevity out of it. It'll last longer. That's how I look at things. They last longer. Not so much dearer brush to cheaper brush, because then that boils down to you on how well you look after your actual brush, you know. You can ruin a expensive brush like you can ruin a cheap brush. You know, it's all down to the person using it and how they abuse it. I think the key to airbrushing is, and I've just literally opened a drawer in that room looking for a remote control to control the key light, and stumbled across a big stack of paper. Yeah. I can't even remember doing these. We've got that one. It's all creased, bent. People are going, oh, don't you keep your artwork safe? No, it's all bent and creased up. But I looked at that, then I moved on. We've got that, and then we moved on. We've got that one. This is the key to airbrushing, right here. That one, that one. I just literally stumbled across this, and it's like, I can't remember doing these. So yeah, the key to your airbrushing, guys. Another one. Another one. It's like time. That's your key. Putting the time in. Yeah. And that was just a pile in the drawer, shoved in the drawer, the waste drawer. And then you've got this. Yeah. All different brushes, every single one of them. This is your key to airbrushing. You have got to put the time in. Yeah. You don't just do all this like that. That's years and years and years on the brush that makes you better at that skill set. That's what it is. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to put the time in. Yeah, you don't just wake up one morning and think, all right, I'm going to be able to paint that and do this. Some people are gifted where they are very, very artistic and can just draw and go straight in. I come from a background of nothing to do with school. My school days were bunking off, didn't take any exams, didn't do anything. Literally left school early and jumped straight into a 9-to-5 job. You know, nothing to do with art. So you've not got to be able to paint, you've not got to be able to draw. You don't have to be able to draw to airbrush. The benefits you do get if you are a little bit artistic and you can draw is you know how to shade, you know how to draw something and shade it correctly. That can help you in a big way when it comes to airbrushing, because you know what looks right, you know how to create a 3D shape. When you've got none of that completely in your mindset and you haven't got a clue, everything will be look two-dimensional, flat, and you won't know how to create a round shape or make it look realistic or three-dimensional. So if you are a little bit creative and you've got like skills like that, you'll pick it up. There's certain things that will make you pick it up a little bit easier along the way. But you've got to put your time in. You have got to put the time in on that brush, and you have got to master 100%. You've got to master that trigger. You've got to know that full trigger movement from minimal paint all the way to full paint and back, and be able to hit all them spots in that trigger movement correctly and master the movements. And that's why everybody says key to airbrushing is dagger strokes, lines, dots, shading. It is. It's them movements with that brush, getting your paint on and off, and your distances. That's what you've got to master. You really have. And then having the right paint, understanding paint, what paints work for what, understanding your paint, understanding your atomization, your pressures. Then you've got to sort of like, you practice and you go through all your different surfaces, because paint sits down differently on every surface. You don't just get one paint and you use it for every single thing. You know, there's different paints for different surfaces. And you've just got to put the time in, and you've got to practice on paper, you've got to practice on aluminium, you've got to practice on material, you've got to practice on leather, you've got to practice on automotive panels. If you want to get really good, you've got to put the time in and the dedication to it every single day. And if you've not got that dedicated mindset, don't pick up a brush. Really don't, because you have got to be on it. You really have. If you want to get good at this, you have got to put the time in. It doesn't just come like that, you know. I mean, that's just that pile there, and the pages that are in that book. I must have another 200, easy, 200 pieces of artwork in the spare bedroom upstairs, just all stacked like this, not doing anything, just all stacked up, slung in a drawer, and folders of work. And that's just my paperwork. That's without the career of the custom painting that I did for years and years and years and years. So there's all bike tanks, there's scooters, there's signs, there is everything out and about that I've done on that side of things, and then all the practicing I did on that scale of all the custom painting. All this is just what I've been doing in the studio for YouTube, like painting on paper. And that's been like the last, say, 3 years dedicated on YouTube, is all what you're seeing and what you've seen on the channel. You know, what I've been painting. But there's all the years previous before YouTube where I was putting the time in. When I first started, hours and hours and hours and hours of practicing and practicing, you know. So that's why I can gladly turn around to you and say, it's not the brush. And when it comes to a brush, and I turn around and say, yeah, that brush can do exactly what that one can do, it can, because I know my way around a trigger, yeah. So if I say that cheap brush can sit alongside the £400 one on what it can do, it can, you know. I've not just been airbrushing a week, I've been airbrushing for like over 20 odd years. So I know what a brush feels like and what response feels like on a trigger, you know. And this is why I can look at brushes now and say, they're really not worth the price tag, you know, on some of these really, really expensive ones. It's like, why is it worth that much money, you know? When the cheaper one is, the chrome looks identical, it looks identically the same, it's got, the pieces look identically the same. It's, why do they warrant that ridiculous price tag? You know? That's how you got to look at it, and never think that you need the most dearest brush to become the best painter, because you don't. You really don't. To become a very good painter, you've got to put the hours in. You've got to put the time in. Yeah, you don't see these top professional boxers just and become pro overnight. They've got background. They've grueled the camps and the sparring and all that. It's like snooker players, the hours they put in, darts players, the hours you put in, practice, 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 practice. Same thing. Just because it's not televised and, you know, you're not in the public eye as in TV, you do the same thing when it comes to this. You put the time in. Trigger, movement, movement, paint, 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 next picture, next picture, next picture, next picture. And that's just proof in the pudding there, just with that stack of paper there that I showed you, and a booklet full of it there. He's putting the time in. Yeah, so that's key. So, brush, pick whatever you want up, yeah, according to your budget. Compressor, the same, pick whatever you can afford. Paint, pick yourself up some decent paint, because that will save the struggles, yeah. All the little bits that you get when you do this, you get the bits, like I've done videos on the channel, you get the bits and put them in place that make your practicing in your journey easier, yeah. That's what you've got to do. You've got to get all the little bits in place to make it easier. If you've got a crap cleaner and crap paint, it's just going to make your practicing in your process a lot harder, isn't it? And why put all these little things in place to make your journey harder? You get the decent bits, as in not expensive, but you get the decent paints and pieces and take them along with you, and it just makes it flow nice and easy. And having your setup as cheap as possible, but as functional as you can, you'll enjoy it more. Yeah. So that's my key, guys, to airbrushing. Put your time in. I'll drop some links in the description to some sites where you can get some really good products. Ones that I recommend. I'll put little pointers out on ones I recommend, whether it's going to be brushes, paint, papers. I'll just do a little list in the description of products that I've used over the years, that I still use now, that make my journey and my learning, because I'm still learning after all these years. You always pick up something new, and it can be from a beginner that's come across something they've put on YouTube and you go, oh, hang on a minute, didn't know that. That's a good idea. You do. We all pick up little ideas and get little bits of input from everybody on YouTube. So a big hats off to anyone that is content creating when it comes to this, because I know how hard it is to do it. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that do it, and I try and sub to them all, whether it's a channel that's got 39 subscribers or one that's got 200 odd thousand. We all share a bit of knowledge, and like I say, there's a little snippet that you can pick up from a beginner's channel to a pro channel. Take it away with you and just adapt it and use it when you're practicing, or whether you're a pro and you're painting, because it all helps. So enjoy your day. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts, and I will see you lot in the next one. Cheers, guys.